recognize my colleague from Arizona, Mr. Gallego. Sir?
Thank you, Chair Grijalva, for the chance to speak on why Environmental Justice for All Act is so pressing and important. The part of Phoenix that I represent is the hottest district and the hottest city in the country. There were 104 days last year with temperatures over 100 degrees. My district population is also 62% Hispanic and 23% are below the poverty line. If you compare city maps of tree canopy cover, land surface temperature, and child poverty, you can clearly see that the areas of Phoenix with the worst environmental outcomes are also the poorest. I have also heard directly from my constituents about high asthma rates in young children, lack of access to green spaces and public lands, and poor air quality in South and West Phoenix than any other parts of the city. It's clear that the impacts of climate change and pollution are already being felt disproportionately in communities like mine. To effectively fight climate change and the worst of its impacts, we have to put these frontline communities front and center. Fortunately, HR 2021 does just that. It requires permit applicants to consider the cumulative impacts of pollution, gives new enforcement tools to counter environmental discrimination, and supports equitable access to parks and recreation. And, you know, I represent this area, but I also kind of grew up in these same areas. I grew up on the south side of Chicago next to some very old meatpacking factories that during the summer, we couldn't even open up our windows anymore because for many years, the meatpacking factories would just dump whatever carcasses they could into the bubbly creek. If you ever have lived next to a meatpacking factory or actually worked in a meatpacking factory, you know that is not a great smell you want to have, especially during the summer. And even access to green spaces was extremely difficult. So there is a balance we can have between environmental justice as well as good, productive generation of a good, strong economy. And this is one of those good measures. And I believe it'll increase public access to the environmental protection resources that sometimes are lacking and only given to those of high net worths. So these impacted communities can be actively involved in advocating for their own health and well-being. I'm very proud to co-sponsor this Environmental Justice for All Act, and I urge my colleagues to vote yes on this bill to ensure that our environmental policy helps those that need it the most. Thank you. I yield back.
Gentleman yields. Let me now recognize